with God. Amen. And he was so upset with God that God did this horrible thing. But as the Bible goes on to tell the story, that God,
hello. Hey, hi, social media family. Being a whatsoever racist, but then not necessarily being a whatever walks of life. Factions of society or lifestyle preferences. And no offense is meant to be directed at any of the alternative beliefs, whatever I said. But I'm just keeping it real. Okay? If anything, I would wish to, enlighten you. Not blacken out or darken the concept of reasonable argument once the light bulb was to come on in anybody's head, according to the natural divine order of things. So, don't mislabel me as some kind of extreme homophobe.
No blame.
In a year.
Amen. Free and liberated. Amen. To them who are in Christ.
Card-carrying members to the LGBT community. Disregard what you're hearing in the background. I don't watch any and every, nor do I listen. Neither nor do I listen to any and every religious broadcast, I don't know them. But then I'm trying to get them benefit out with all things considered. I could possibly or probably will change the channel some other time, like shortly after. Yeah. But anyway, getting back to some of such other. Yeah. Yeah, but with this slight interjection, because I reflect upon where the Bible says some of the passages, this I paraphrase and not quote exactly. The kingdom of heaven suffered divided by force, as it's making reference to, the lifestyle of those supposed so-called holier than thous of modern day religious Pharisees and Sadducees with their fake selves as wolves in sheep's clothing, snakes in the grass, or false brethren as they are. Okay. So I say to you all, of the old and young alike, above the two sexual genders, males and females representing the global community within this post-911 era of a new millennium of this apocalyptic day and age, and where the doomsday clock is now at a couple few minutes to midnight compared on to how formerly, previously, or prior to then, it was at a quarter midnight for these regular biblically prophetic times. How are you all doing? Well, hopefully everyone is doing at least okay. If not better yet to be said, to be feeling all right, or if not best of all to be said, to be feeling blessed and stressed. More blessed and stressed, or too blessed to possibly become or be stressed. Hold it down. Anyway, though.
Going to the east. Amen. He's not going to hear your prayer in your closet if you're not sanctified and holy. Amen. Praise God. Amen. The Bible
but then,
that the wages of sin,
let me say, and I'll state for the record that regardless of whatsoever that my person, as a believing God, could possibly speak upon, of the subject matter of the issue at hand, be it a controversy or not, and be it of a social plague that has yet to be resolved, it has not been already, or not, of some or such of a given argument with the many different views and opinions associated with it being of some or such, the pros and cons thereof, conversations, of dialogues, of topics of discussion, to be debated.
Which way should I go?
But then, nevertheless,
sometimes the depression in your
life, it all is supposed to be protected up under the First Amendment of our Constitution that guarantees freedom of speech.
Because there's no satisfaction.
Disregard what I'm saying there. I don't support any and every religious broadcast so far what you see in the background here. All right, but getting back to some of such other, as I was trying to say, then whatsoever I myself could speak Y'all speak on one thing or another. Y'all speak upon a couple, 2 or 4 more for that matter. Then hopefully with that much less uses use of profanity, much rather than instead of with that much more cuss words to simply say. And therefore, hopefully, likewise, with that much less of an opportunity or chance to simply say, to speak like that being of someone or such one being of whom is supposed to be a believer in God, aka Christian, aka and Protestant, regardless of whatever I could speak upon, hopefully, therefore, likewise, it would be less likely to, as a means or in the character of playing a part of the devil's advocate, of the lesser 2 evils being a part of the son. And where the worst 2 evils is the likes of religious church hypocrites, of false brethren, false prophets and or antichrist, other likes being of whom I had mentioned earlier, being of whom are the worstest of unbelievers and unbelievers, being of deceivers who pretend to have become or pretend to be believers in God as in Christians, aka Protestants, and therefore they themselves being of those to be considered among themselves like are to be considered as being the worst or the worstest of closet devil worshippers, being of whom make up the majority of churchgoers or whatsoever religious denomination, of members and visitors alike from the pools to the pulpits. But then getting back to that in the person of I myself, I say, regardless of whether or not that I'm a person am speaking that a correct, proper, standard English grammar of the American dialect of some such qualities and quantities or not. And as I think of it with that in my mind's intentions to try to backtrack here, the reason or purpose of being, nor so I can go on with the following to continue from where and when I last left off to finish up, as incomplete a form of previous or prior lines in that sense of the word, so far as the intro is concerned, before I were to speak upon anything else. So I say, as I try to do just that, to finish up from where and when I last left off, as I go on with the following, after thinking of it with my intention to backtrack here, to do just that. And then, like I said, all the same, so I can, speak upon some such matters of a subject, whatever could come to mind, regardless of how many I could possibly give my own views and opinions. But then in the future, I will permit that much more of a Q&A session, likewise. And regardless, though, don't kill the messenger. Okay? To be bound by the devil. Anyway, so I say to you all, being of whom are, in addition, being on my social media family, of not only whatsoever races, though not necessarily being of whatever walks of life, fashion, society, lifestyle preference, of then being of the old and young alike of both 2 sexual genders, of males and females, representing the global community within this post-911 era of a new millennium apocalyptic day and age in which the doomsday clock is at a couple few minutes to midnight, compared on to how formerly or previously or prior to then was at a quarter midnight for these rather biblically prophetic times. Well, so I say, to finish up as a complete form of last thought, for that or some of such a given moment in time, or to reiterate something that I said, so far as the basic intro is concerned. Whereas if I didn't, make mention of it before, so far as the completion of that of the same is said in question to prior mention. That is, if I did not finish up then for the last, then so I do so now. But then I think I did. Then it's not anything wrong with repeat myself, as well as finishing up. Now that I got that out the way, then let me get to speaking upon some of such subject matter, like say for example of these matters, so far as that riot that has started in the city, the American or U.S. city of Minneapolis, Minnesota, and then whereas it had from there had from there had been transferred to other U.S. American cities. I ever said been the after effects or influences thereof. You can take it for what you want. I may get a lot of flack for saying this here, but I don't care. But what you rioters need to do, you need to quit tearing up your own cities. I don't care if you're black or white, etc. I mean, I can understand how you're well, that's not the half of it. Very much so emotional. And I sympathize and empathize with you, but you're not helping anything by tearing up your own cities, and you're not helping the legacy of that brother, Now, if you must riot, or if you must show your discontent, or your what you call your disposition or demeanor or stated grievances or whatever it's called against the dirty cops who had cold-bloodedly murdered or killed that one non-white male individual person of a black brother, then I tell you what you should do, if anything. If ever you were to witness another dirty cop coming off acting like excuse my language, calling French, a dickhead prick, regardless of whatever race one is, then make sure you get some rubber hoses and attach them to, fire hydrants, and then let it rip. Let the water gush from the water hose and spray those dirty cops with it. Okay. I know they may not be the more orthodox means of expressing yourselves with civil disobedience and in a peaceful way. But as you notice, the title of this broadcast on social media, Desperate Times Calls for Desperate Measures of Alternative Civil Disobedience, that's one example you could do to show that you're not going to take that F and BS anymore. If you see some dirty cops, violating the civil and human rights of a fellow American citizen, regardless of race, regardless of whatever walk of life, find for yourselves a fire hydrant close by and hook up to it some of such rubber hoses, and then drag that sucker and in the vicinity where the hate crime of a civil and human rights violation offense is taking place. Then turn it on and spray the dirty cops with that water coming from the hose that's attached to a fire hydrant. Or, another alternative option to be possibly considered is get for yourselves some bottles, not glass bottles, but plastic bottles. Fill it up with tap water and pelt those dirty cops with it. Okay? You could do it on feet as pedestrians, or you could do it while riding in automobiles. I don't care how many protesters do that, pelt them, as well as spray them, because desperate times call for desperate measures, Even so, children do that, but only in a company of older adults, grown-ups, but you grown-ups should do it first. The children can do it second, but make sure you have that is available escape route for the children first and foremost. If and when the dirty cops could possibly retaliate against you all standing up for what is right, Sometimes you have to use extreme measures to combat something so offensive, so nasty, so socially unacceptable and criminally illegal. I don't care what somebody may say, but wouldn't that be assault on a police officer? If the police officer is not doing the job that he gets paid to do in the proper way, then you have every right to do what you have to do as an American citizen to combat a wrong by making it right. Even if you don't exercise your rights and privileges to make a citizen's arrest upon the police or cops, then you can do the next best thing. Like I said, find some fire hydrant somewhere, hook it up with some rubber hoses, and then spray the dirty cops with the waters coming from the hoses that are attached to the fire hydrants. Or get you some bottles, you know, not glass bottles, but plastic bottles. Fill it up with tap water and pelt those dirty cops with the bottled water. Pelt them, be you a pedestrian, or if you're like riding by in automobiles or motor vehicles. I would prefer that you do it while you're riding by in automobiles or motor vehicles than as pedestrians on foot. If you're pedestrians on foot, then more than likely I would rather that you just go ahead and take photo shots and videotape the hate crime incident of a dirty cop violating the civil and human rights of American citizens with your cell phones and camcorders and whatever else. But when it comes to pelting them with bottles, not glass bottles, but plastic bottles filled with tap water, don't buy any bottled water and pelt them with. That's a waste of money. People could be drinking that bottled water, that sanitized bottled water. But fill those plastic bottles up with tap water and have a case full of it in your rides. You different protesters, and ride by those police officers, cops, and pelt them with those plastic bottles filled with tap water. Pelt them with it, you know. Desperate times call for desperate measures, as well as you take turns, you know, just in case the police may want to attempt to run after you as pedestrians on feet. You take turns with the water hoses attached to fire hydrants and spray them with it, you know. And you have some of such of your family members and friends have automobiles and motor vehicles on standby, just in case some police officers could possibly chase you, and then hop into those automobiles and motor vehicles and speed away, you know. You hear what I'm saying? That's what anybody needs to do, you know. And then you'd be surprised. Maybe that'll stop all this here nonsense of certain police officers in certain cities and suburbs and rural townships taking lives like as if they're above the law, you know. And it's not only blacks that are being murdered or killed by dirty cops. There's other races of people's person being murdered or killed by dirty cops. Even white people or white persons being killed or murdered by dirty cops. So that's what y'all need to do, you know. That's what you all need to do. You hear what I'm saying? And furthermore, you can take plastic bottles and fill it up with grease. Fill it up with grease or motor oil and throw it at those dirty cops, as well as the other bottles filled with tap water. Fill up the bottle with grease and throw it with motor oil and throw it at those dirty cops. You hear what I'm saying? Hell, man. With the exception of throwing bottles up at them filled with urine samples, because your urine samples have your DNA. You hear what I'm saying? So you don't want to go there. Okay? That's what y'all need to do. That's what we all need to do if push comes to shove. Hopefully nothing like that ever jumps off in the Midwest, you know. But you know, I mean, it's and come out like where some that is jump off and then it come out to become a major riot. But for those cities that are engaged in riots now, that's what I suggest and advise. Don't tear up your own cities. That's not helping anybody. If you want to, you know, express your hostilities directed at the very perps that have taken the lives of some of such of fellow Americans, being of the dirty cops in question, all you're doing is hurting yourselves when you tear up your own cities and suburbs and townships. You need to get a hold or some rubber hoses, attach it to fire hydrants, and spray the dirty cops with the water coming from the. But I would prefer you that much more think to pelt them with plastic containers or bottles filled with water or motor oil. You hear what I'm saying? Or fill it with salt. All the same. Different times call for different measures. Fill it with salt or fill it with dirt and pelt them with it. You hear what I'm saying? Hell, fill it with mustard, for that matter, and pelt them with it. Okay, but not with ketchup, because we'll make certain that if blood is drawn, we can tell the difference between blood and ketchup. But mustard is permissible. You hear what I'm saying? That's what you all need to do. Any of you angry blacks and angry Hispanics and angry Asians and angry white persons who are liberal, who are not other likes of racist rednecks, if you want to express your hatred for dirty cops violating the civil and on human rights of their fellow Americans, then do just that, as I've said. But don't tear up your own neighborhoods. That's not helping anybody. You hear? No, it's not. Yeah, I said all that what I've said. I condone civil disobedience in that line of thought as well. All that I have mentioned. I don't condone you tearing up your own cities and suburbs and townships, but I condone you exercising, something similar to making a citizen's arrest upon the police or cops. If you're not able to do that, then spray them with water coming from hoses hooked up to fire hydrants, or pelt them with plastic containers or bottles filled with water or motor oil or all that other stuff that I mentioned. I'm saying, because they would deserve it. That way, if you hit them with the plastic bottles filled up with something, it's not really like right, because you're not really assaulting a police officer, cop, or so much as where they could attempt to validate or attempt to where they could attempt to verify or confirm or attempt to validate them being on attack, like whereas bottles like rocks and bricks and bats, those hurt. Don't get me wrong, the other hurt, but it ain't so much as gonna hurt as much as it's not gonna be used where it could cause so much damage. They can survive that, but at the same time, you'll be letting them know that you disagree with their corrupt police methods, So that's permissible. But let me see. Don't hit them with plastic containers of water that is frozen within some as such as that being, as in the form of ice. You know what I'm saying? Oh, what the hell? Some of y'all could do that if y'all wish, but I would prefer you just use the plastic bottles, then of which are not filled with ice water, but just water, tap water that's not frozen. But even if some of you were to take plastic bottles filled with ice water and pelt the police, the dirty cops with it, then they deserve it. They deserve it, But all this tearing up your own city, it don't make any sense. You hear what I'm saying? It don't make a bit of sense. Okay? Anybody that's watching this particular broadcast, man, on social media, I hope you do what I've said. You know, don't tear up your cities. That ain't helping matters any. You know, and to be like well, taking photo shots and dirty cops and taking videotapes of them with your electronic devices. You know, I mean, that helps some, but it's not helping like it could. You know, while you doing that, the brother who is down on the ground being physically abused by the dirty police officer cops is being killed. You know. Okay. What good is that? I'm saying. I mean, it's gonna be doing some kind of good, but that's for something to be gone about to be considered for what is to happen later in the long run. But on short notice, do that other stuff. I mean, do that even so, but on short notice, do equal as well that other stuff so far what I had said. You know, hook up some rubber hoses to fire hydrants and spray the dirty cops with water coming from those same rubber hoses hooked up to fire hydrants, or take some plastic bottles filled with water and practically, if not possibly, whatever else, and pelt the dirty cops with it. You know. But I would prefer you do it more as riders in motor vehicles or automobiles than as pedestrians on foot. You know how that is. I'm just keeping it real, you know. They can't arrest a mob of people or persons, you know, all that at one time, you know. Now can they? A mob of people or persons throwing plastic bottles filled with water at them. They can't arrest a mob of persons. By the time they chasing one person, another person is pelting them with some more bottles, then another and another. You know, bottles coming at them left and right. You know, you hear what I'm saying? They can't really say who did this or that because they don't know where the bottle, you know, and they see something, but then they can't arrest everybody. You hear what I'm saying? That's what you all need to do, you know. Take some bottles filled with water and be like, motherfucker! I don't care. Hit them in the face with it. Hit them in the face. Hit them in the backs and chest, everything. You know. Hell, knock the gun out of their hand with some stuff at a distance. But hopefully you do it more in your motor vehicles or automobiles. You know. Motherfucker! They got it. Boom. You can also have balloons filled with water and pelt them with some of such. Yeah? Balloons filled with water, balloons filled with salt, balloons filled with motor oil, balloons filled with mustard, and pelt them with it. You hear what I'm saying? Desperate time call for desperate measures. Do that, will you? Do that, will you? Any of you protesting angry blacks and Hispanics and Asians and liberal white persons, will you do that? You have my permission to do that in whatever American or U.S. city or town, U.S. city, suburb, or rural township. You have my permission. I give you the thumbs up, you know, to exercise that being an alternative means of expressing civil disobedience. You know, I mean, after I don't see none of y'all thinking about trying to make a citizen's arrest on the police or cops. Now, are you? Well, do the next best thing. Hook up some rubber hose to fire hydrants nearby and spray the dirty cops with the water coming from the hoses hooked up to the fire hydrants attached to some stuff, or pelt them. Pelt them with some plastic containers or bottles filled with water or plastic, if not possibly whatever else. But I would prefer that you do it in your automobiles or motor vehicles while you're driving by. You hear what I'm saying? Yeah, it's pedestrians on feet, on foot, you know.
I'm going to show you why.
Hell,
those things happening.
For that matter, if any of you protesters have any dogs, sick your dogs on the dirty cops. You hear what I'm saying? Be your pedestrians with dogs, pedestrian on foot with dogs, or better yet, if you like some of such riders in your different automobiles or motor vehicles, you know, like stop your ass and sick your dogs on the dirty cops. You hear what I'm saying? Desperate time call for desperate measures. You know, sick your dogs on the dirty cops. I don't care if the dogs are like you know, like pit-bulls or rockweillers. Sick your dogs on the dirty cops, but make sure your dogs don't attack other people or persons, your fellow Americans. Just the dirty cops in question. Desperate time call for desperate measures. You know, sick your pit-bulls and rockweillers on the dirty cops. Like just ride by them with your automobiles or motor vehicles, and take your dogs, your pit-bulls and rockweillers out of your automobiles, and then walk on over there to the dirty cops, or run up on it, and then let your dogs loose to attack those dirty cops. Yeah. 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 You can just hop into your rash. You can just hop into your rash and so forth and speed off, you know. As many pit-bulls and rockweillers that you all can sick upon them. Sick your dogs on those dirty cops. That ought to stop all that shit. For starters, all that fucking bullshit of dirty cops going to the extremes of violating the civil and human rights of others, acting like they're above the law. Sick your pit-bulls and rockweillers on the dirty cops, you know. You hear what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And then get back in your ass and ride out and watch at a distance. Sick your pet dogs. Your pet dogs are vicious canines, pit-bulls and rockweillers upon the dirty cops. I don't care if they white, Asian, Hispanic, black, and whatever cities or suburbs or townships that you could be witnessing that being of some such brutal attack upon a victim of a fellow American citizen or foreigner coming from the likes of those demons from hell in the flesh of dirty cops, be they white, Asian, Hispanic, or black. Sick your vicious mutts of pit-bulls and rockweillers on them. That's what you need to do. That's including if any of the owners are of the likes of some of such card can members to gangs or 1% of MCs. You know what I'm saying? All these 1% of MC members, if not all, more than quite a few of them, or most, they talking shit, you know, about riding on their Harley Davidsons and shit. That don't mean shit. You know, go after the dirty cops, six them damn vicious mutts of rockweillers and pit-bulls on their ass, you know. You know, like a bunch of 1%ers, 1% of members of 1% of MCs could be like riding on their Harley Davidsons, and others could be like, you know, in trucks with dogs in trucks, and then let the dogs loose from the trucks to attack the dirty cops, you know. I mean, let's just keep it real, you know what I'm saying? No, I mean, you want to talk about how we riding out here. The police, little man, we riding out here on our, they want to try to, you know, like, put some of that energy to some much better use, you know. The guys and fellas on the big Harley Davidsons could be like escorting the other of their fellow members to their different MCs that would be riding trucks with dogs in the back of the pickup trucks, and then stop at the scene where the dirty cops are violating the civil rights of a fellow American citizen, and let the back of that pickup truck lower that, let it down, and let the dogs rush at them dirty cops and tear their asses up. That's the time called for definite measures. Do that, will ya? Quit acting like a bunch of pussies. A bunch of pussies or faggoty or closet faggot bitch ass sons of a bitch. I'm just keeping it real. You know, sometimes you got to use brute force to stop a whole lot of ugly, evil shit. You know what I'm saying? A whole lot of ugly, evil effing BS. Brute force, you know, but at the same time, not to appear so much as the very demons in the flesh that are violating the civil order and human rights of a fellow American. That way, if you come into a court of law, you know, you could say, they don't know who threw what, you know, whose dog that was that attacked their asses. Because you'd be like, there were many bottles, plastic bottles filled with substances thrown at their ass, coming from more than quite a few. Or there were many dogs attacking their asses. They don't know whose owners there were. Do that, will y'all? Do that. Let your dogs do the job of what you would be wanting to do to kick the asses up and stump the damn hell out of some dirty cops killing brothers, you know. Let your dogs tear their asses up from limb. Tear their asses up. Your pit-bulls and rockweillers. Let your dogs tear their asses up. Give them a taste of their own damn medicine. Their own fucking damn, or their own effing damn medicine. Hey, bro. Yo, listen. You hear what I'm saying? But other than that, I'm gonna speed down this here closing of the matter. And I get back with y'all, yes, you know, by saying this here. If you haven't gotten Christ as your own personal Lord and Savior, you know, I have to force myself to say it. Don't come naturally for me to say it. Right? Me say it. If you haven't gotten Christ as your own personal Lord and Savior, then I would hope that you would think to do so now while the blood is still running warm in your veins, by recognizing and realizing what he himself had done or did upon the cross of Calvary on the hill of Golgotha, suffering at the hands of some sort of Roman soldiers up under the orders of their religious superiors, being a Pharisee and Sadducee, but then nevertheless, whereas he himself had went to the cross of Calvary and become that perfect sacrifice, the only sacrifice for you and me. So if anybody being of whatsoever race and whatever walks of life, fashion in society, or lifestyle preferences, been an old, young, like a both the sexual genders, a males and females representing global community. I said males and female representing global community within the post 911 era, or new apocalyptic day and age, and where the doomsday clock is at a quarter to midnight for these rather biblically prophetic time. Where to profess some of such faith in him. Where from there, you know, we would become or be blessed in one regard or one regard or another, you know. First and foremost, where we would escape the fires of hell. You know, we don't have to worry about what our final outcome would be, because we would go to heaven. Not to be, you know, damned for all eternity in the lake of fire, damn hell with the rest of the unbelievers and unbelievers. Be terrorized and traumatized by the devil and the demons for all eternity. But we'll be among the saints of the fellowship, or like-minded believers elsewhere, as in Christians, aka Protestants, beyond the pearly gates, as citizens of the kingdom of heaven, for that is something just give them on time, present of God and his angels. And even so, be blessed down here while we're still trying to planet Earth. For that psalm of such a given moment of time. First, you must accept Christ as your personal Lord and Savior while you're still here. Otherwise, you have nothing coming so far as blessings is concerned. You better recognize and realize, you know. You hear what I'm saying? Okay, but other than that, in closing, I say, you know, you all take care and be safe. Be blessed, not stressed. Peace and love, joy and happiness. And do what I have said if you really want to show some real protest. So I say, as a prodigal son, been a lesser to you, playing a part of the devil active way. The worst two evils is all these fake brethren who make up the majority of churchgoers, you know, closet devil worshippers of whatsoever religious denomination. So on and so forth. Y'all gonna do that? Be down. Take care and be
What the
safe.
hell you doing in a
Peace.
float? Get off the float.